Hello everyone, my name is Elaine Waterman and I'm the Executive Director here at the Firehouse Art Center. We're back with another kids art class, a virtual live stream on Facebook. I'm a little early just because I was sitting here and thought, well, I'll just start early and say hi to everyone and tell you guys what's going on with the Firehouse. But yeah, so we've got our last summer class that is going to be offered on Facebook live stream. We've been doing this since the start of the closure due to the pandemic, and that was all the way in March. So we have about, I would say, like 60 classes that we have saved on Facebook Live as well as on our YouTube channel, and they are all going to stay there so that you guys can access them for art classes whenever you need to. And once you do a class, it doesn't mean that you don't ever have to, you can still do it again because, after you've grown up a little and maybe you've gotten a little better at art and you're better at painting and mixing your colors, it's always fun to go back and do some of the projects that you did maybe a year ago and see if you have improved, or to see what other different art you can create. Art is all about, I believe it's all about problem solving. Creating art, you always have to think of ways to work around your space issues, your composition, your paints, your supplies. There's always things to solve as far as problem solving in art. And one day you might do a project one way, and then 2 days later you might end up doing the same project and it might be completely different when you make it. So we're going to save those art classes on our YouTube channel and also on Firehouse, the Firehouse Facebook page. All you have to do is go to the Facebook page, and to the left there is a tab that says live, and you can get to all of the videos there. So definitely use those art classes as a resource, and just kind of tailor it. If you've already done the classes before when you were younger, do it a little differently and maybe challenge yourself to do more fine details, or color more precisely, or to make it neater, or to make it bigger. So there are always different ways to do your projects, even if you've already taken the class already. So it's 101, so we can actually start, but I always like getting started with or ending with what the Firehouse has going on. And even though we are here by appointment only, and on Saturdays we're here for walk-in traffic, it seems like there shouldn't be a lot going on, but there always is a lot going on. So there's one thing. So this is Art Walk, Summer on the Streets. So this weekend we have another event coming up. It's from 5 to 8 p.m. If you go to our Facebook page or the Art Walk Longmont Facebook page, it has the schedule. We have lots of musicians, we have art booths, we have artists in action, just a lot of things going on. We've got younger musicians playing that really haven't gotten a chance to play live, that are going to take this opportunity to bring their music to Main Street, like Brody Munt is coming to play. We have a harpist that is coming to play as well, so bringing different kinds of music onto Main Street so that you guys can experience music of different varieties. Same thing with art and artisans. A lot of different artists and artisans are coming this weekend, whether they do prints, whether they have paintings, whether they have sewn products, hand sewn products, lots of different things. So definitely, if you get a chance, come down to downtown Longmont, support your downtown businesses, come get something to eat, go to Scrumptious, get some ice cream, pick up some Palisade peaches at Simply Bulk, and then come check out the art and the music that's happening in downtown Longmont. It's super fun, and it's distanced enough where people are wearing masks and you can socially distance safely. We are also, if you are worried about safety, we are also offering this Saturday our virtual art market. So if you go to our website, firehouseart.org, and you want to visit some artists making art in their studio, that is what these virtual artist markets are. You basically, you get a ticket. It's a portal. You get a ticket into an artist's studio while they're creating. So you get to see a professional artist at work, and if you like their work, they have links to their Etsy sites or their websites, and you can support them by buying their art, or if you just really like what they're doing, just support them by donating money to their creative cause. So if you go to the firehouseart.org website, there is information about our virtual market there, and that is from 1 to 3 this Saturday. And it was created by Amanda Maldonado and Koi Inc. And she partnered with the Firehouse and LDDA to put together these safe virtual art markets, and you can visit artist studios from the safety and the comfort of your sofa. So that's what we've got going on this weekend. As far as our lesson today, we have a lesson all about blending and creating color. So our exhibit right now is called Bright, and it's all about the use of color in contemporary art. And I thought, this would be a great chance to really explore how we can create color and how different colors are created by using our primary colors. Now I know that we've done this before with primary colors. You mix the red and the blue and you get a different color. You get purple, you mix the yellow and the blue, you get green. But we are going to do a project where we are going to take 3 pieces of paper. It says 4, but the 4th one you can kind of use as a border. But and we are going to create a long banner using our primary colors mixing into our secondary colors. So as far as supplies, we're going to get into the class right now. You need a brush, you need your tempera paints, only your primary colors, and your primary colors are only 3 primary colors, and they are red, blue, and yellow. So those are our 3 primary colors, and if you look and see, I have already put them into my palette, and I am ready to go with my paint in my palette. I've got my brush. I've got a bowl filled with water. It's actually like a container. And the other thing that you will need is glue stick and a pencil, which I'll roll on over here. My pencil. And something to trace for a circle. So, it doesn't really matter because we can actually use different circle sizes. I got this huge thing of duct tape. I've got a lid from my coffee cup. So we just, find some different circle shapes. We can use more than one. And scissors. So that is what you need for today. And I am going to turn my screen down so you guys can see my project. I haven't started it yet, so that you guys can watch me from start to finish, and you can do it at the same time. Another thing that you're going to need is, and I didn't say this before, is when you're using tempera paints, you want to make sure you keep your paints clean. So you need paper towels, because we know that the way to keep our brushes and our paints clean is to swish, where you swish it in the bowl, touching the bottom, making sure the paint comes off the bristles. You wipe, and then you blot. Okay, so swish, wipe, and blot. So that's why you need paper towels. Now I'm going to turn my screen down, and I am going to, you know what? I think that's something, so if anyone is watching and wants to comment, I think that maybe once Facebook linked these events, like link the live stream to the events, possibly the comment moderation was changed because it's linked to an event, but I'm not sure. But we'll fix that in a second. I'm gonna turn my screen down, and there's my workspace. Okay, so this is my workspace right here. So I said 3 white pieces of paper. Now, these are multimedia pieces of paper that I took from a sketchbook. You don't need fancy paper for this. You can actually use printer paper. If it crinkles or wrinkles or folds because of the moisture in your paint, that's okay. All you have to do is iron it when it's done and dry, and then it'll go flat again. Okay, so 3 pieces of paper, and what I'm actually going to do is you can glue stick it. So we're going to attach it together as a large banner, and each of the pages are going to be attached portrait. So they're going to be upright. So it's going to be portrait, portrait, portrait. The other way that you can turn your paper is landscape, but we're using portrait today. So if you have glue sticks and you want to use your glue sticks, you can use that. I actually am going to use tape. So that was not in the supplies, but you can use tape for this as well, or glue stick. It doesn't really matter. I just know that this glue stick for some reason is not that great, which is why I have the tape as an option. Okay, so you're going to attach it all like that, all one piece. It's going to be a long, super long piece. And whether you're gluing it or taping it, make sure you do it the whole length of the page, because you are actually going to cut pieces off of this paper and you don't want them to fall apart. So I guess that's one reason gluing is better than tape, but okay. So now I have created this really long piece of paper. I'm going to flip it over, and here's my paper right here. And really all we're going to do is paint. So our Thursday classes are usually multimedia, collage, or sculpture. And then this class is actually a collage class. So, but a lot of this class is just going to be painting. And if you want to stand up to paint, you can, because sometimes when you have a large piece of paper and a large expanse of like the surface to cover, sometimes it's easy to do the big strokes as opposed to sitting here and then, you know, painting really close to the paper by sitting. So I'm actually going to stand up, and with my wet brush, I am going to paint, but in a very specific way. So I want you guys to follow along with me. We're going to start with, because I'm upside down, we're going to start with left to right. Okay, so left to right. And we're going to go yellow, red, and blue. But we're going to do it in a way that the colors blend, and then there's a gradient of color. So it's going to go from red, then we're going to start mixing a little, or did I say yellow? Yes, yellow, red, blue. So it's going to start yellow. We're going to mix a little bit of red, a little bit of red, a little bit of red, and then it's going to be red, and then gradient that, red, 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 to blue, and then it's going to go blue here. Oh, actually, you do need that fourth piece of paper. That's what I was doing. I thought I was mistaken, but no, you do need that fourth piece of paper. So, sorry, turn it over, because your fourth piece of paper is going to be blue to yellow. So you have to go through the whole spectrum, the whole color wheel. Okay. Yeah, I said 4 pieces of paper, but then I was like, wait, there are only 3 colors, red, blue, and yellow, that are primary, but you need to spin all the way back around. And you'll see it at the end, because we're going to do this crazy thing where we're going to put it together like this, and it's going to go all the way around the color wheel. Okay, so now that we have the whole thing, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pieces of paper. I'm going to take my brush, and I'm going to dip it into my yellow. And it's okay if you have water in it. You know, tempera paint If you put too much water, it does get really watery, but it's okay with a little bit of water because that'll help it flow. Okay, so you guys see that? I'm painting yellow. Now I'm painting upside down. So this is my right side, but this is your left side. So start with your left side, and you're gonna paint yellow. And when you get to the crease of where your papers meet, you're going to stop painting yellow. So as you can see, my paper still kind of rolls up because of the water in it that I'm using. That's okay. A good way to stop that from happening is all you have to do is take something heavy and kind of weigh down the corners. So whatever you have. Okay, so now this whole page is now painted yellow. You're gonna swish. So I'm gonna bring it closer so you guys can see. Swish, wipe, blot. Now, I'm gonna get red on my brush, but I want you to see, I'm gonna start here. And I'm gonna go this way towards the yellow. I don't want you to dip your brush into the red again. So I want you to get a lot of red on your brush. So I want you to see my brush. See how much paint is on there? Do not dip your brush into the red again. We're gonna use the red and we're gonna have the highest amount of saturation, so the most amount of paint here. And as we start getting into the yellow, it is going to be less red and it's going to mix into the yellow. So we're gonna start right here where the crease is. And I am not gonna go back and get any more red paint. Now the reason I say that is because red is a really strong color. And I don't want you guys to get more red and then come here and start painting on your yellow, because you're not going to get the orange that you want. The only thing you can do, since it is such a large amount of space, is, and you might be running out of paint, so see how I'm running out of paint? That is okay, because watch, I'm gonna dip it in the water. That's all I wanna do. I don't want to dip it in the paint, because as I bring it over to the yellow, you're gonna see it's gonna turn into orange, okay? Okay, so now we have yellow, orange, and red. I want you to swish, wipe, and blot. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your brush into the yellow and you wanna blend this gradient. So you want it to go very lightly from yellow to light orange to darker orange. So what you're gonna do is you're going to take your yellow and you're going to brush it into the red now. So you see how that's different? So I want you guys to look, and I'm going to hold it up to the camera so you guys can see. So it goes from yellow to light orange to dark orange to red, and that is exactly what we want. Okay, so right now we have 1, 2, 3 colors. 2 of them are primary, the yellow and the red, and the secondary color is orange right here in the middle. Okay, now we're going to take our brush again, swish, wipe, and blot. And I want you to do the same thing with the color blue. You're going to dip your brush into the blue. Now blue is a pretty strong color too. It's just not as strong as red sometimes, but it does depend on the paint. But you're going to get a lot of paint on your brush, and you're going to start all the way at this seam right here where you've attached the pages, and it's going to go blue, 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 and as you run out of blue, you might add a little bit of water, and you're going to paint a little bit into the red, okay? And if you know what color that is, blue plus red makes purple, which is my favorite secondary color, actually. I think I may have mentioned that before. So you're going to paint the blue. Now, I'm running out of color now, and it's very tempting. I really want to dip my brush back into that blue, but I'm not going to. I'm instead going to dip it into the water, get a little bit of water on my brush, and I'm going to instead do water to extend my paint. And I'm going to take that wet blue brush into the red, and it's going to blend and make the color purple. Okay, so now that we have yellow, light orange, dark orange, red, light purple, we need to make a dark purple here. I'm going to swish, wipe, and blot. This time I'm going to take red and I'm going to paint it over the blue. And what you're going to get is a darker purple. Okay. And then it goes back into blue. Now, if you are wanting to blend your colors a little bit, what you can do is you can swish, wipe, and blot. And right where the colors start to meet, you just blend it out like that. Okay, make sure you swish, wipe, and blot again before you mix any of the other colors. Swish, wipe, blot. So you're getting this really big rainbow piece of paper, like a banner, a rainbow banner. But this is just the first part of the project. We're going to do the second part of the project with the collage and the gluing and the cutting in just a little bit. Okay, so now I have yellow, orange, red, light purple, dark purple, blue. Then we're going to take yellow because we have one more secondary color left. Now our secondary color that we have left is green. So what we're going to do is we're going to take yellow and I'm going to paint this last sheet. Now yellow is my lightest color. It is my least covering color as far as primary colors go. So if you start to run out of yellow paint, you can get more yellow paint on your brush. And you might need to add more to your palettes. And there it goes, it's starting to curl. So I'm going to take something heavy and just put it right there on the end. Just like that. And that should hold it down. Okay? Okay, so yellow. Oop, I might need a little bit more water. So you can always extend your paint, your tempera paint, with a little bit of water, because it is a water-based paint and washable, which is good, especially for kids' projects. Now, if you were using a paint like an oil paint that's oil-based, you would not want to, oh, see that? That's okay, because that's actually what we're going to do. Okay, so now you're going to take some yellow and you're going to mix it into the blue. So this is going to be your dark blue. I mean your dark green. And then you can just start brushing it into the yellow, and that's your light green. And then there you go. So now you have the whole range of colors from primary to secondary. And you actually have some tertiary colors in there as well. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, So what I mean by tertiary colors, so tertiary colors are different ranges within the secondary colors. So what you have here is yellow. You start out with yellow, you start going into yellow orange, to orange, to red orange, to red, to reddish purple, to purple, to bluish purple, to blue green, to green, to yellow green, to yellow. So you see that? So your primary colors are yellow, red, blue. Your secondary colors are orange, purple, green. Your tertiary colors for the color wheel are yellow orange, red orange, reddish purple, bluish purple, blue green, and then yellow green. So do you guys see that? So this whole rainbow gradient, and it's not actually the pattern of the rainbow, but see, the rainbow would go Roy G. Biv, so it would go red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, violet. That would be the rainbow. But you have the whole gradient scale for your color wheel right here. So right now, I'm going to do this because we have to let this dry, and then we can start tracing circles on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to separate it into the upper half, so a banner of the upper half colors and a banner with the lower half of colors. And just going to fan it and let it dry. Now, if you wanted to, what you could do is let it dry for a little bit longer and then come back once your paper is dry. So pause the live stream, come back when your paper is dry, and then finish the rest of the lesson. I can't do that because, you know, this is live, and but you can. So you can pause it and then you can go and take and finish the rest of the class. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut it. Now you can measure the half, or you can just estimate. I'm actually gonna do this. I'm gonna fold it in half gently because it's still a little wet and you don't want it to crease too much. I'm just gonna make a little notch right here and fold it. And I am just going to make a little notch on this side and fold it. And getting these two halfway points will help give me a guideline for cutting. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my scissors and stand up, and I am going to cut all the way across. So this is why I said you have to glue the whole length of the paper down at your connection points, because you're cutting it in half and you don't want the paper to come apart. So whether you glue it or you tape it, make sure you glue the whole seam or you tape the whole seam. Okay, so there are my two pieces of paper. Now I'm going to move one to the side and I'm going to let it dry. Actually, just move it forward. And then I am going to move this up so you guys can see that, right? So let me see, comment, moderation, show, no? Discussion. Okay, so I think the comments are on. Okay, so I'm going to take my circle things and I'm going to trace them. Now, when you place your circle things, I want you to place it on an area that shows a fair amount of change in color. So I don't want to put it right here on the yellow because that just has yellow, and I don't want to put it right here on the blue or the red or anything that doesn't show a gradient of color or changings of color. So I'm actually going to put it on the seams. There's a lot of color change going on, so maybe I will do one here, and I'm going to trace it. And, you know, I really like like this color change going on right here. And you see, like, you don't have to do it right in the middle. I'm gonna do this one right here. And I really like this going on right here. And let's do this orange to yellow right here. And maybe right here, the green to the yellow. Okay, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles that I have traced, and I'm going to go ahead and cut those out. So if you guys have paused the lesson and you've come back because your paper is now dry, go ahead and trace some circles on your colored paper. And just keep on cutting them out. Now remember, if you are still getting used to using scissors and cutting things, it will probably take you a little bit longer time to cut than I do. I've been practicing for many years, so keep that in mind as I'm cutting. If you think, wow, Miss Elaine, you're going so fast, well, I have been cutting for a very long time, so I'm used to using scissors. You might not be as used to using scissors, so don't worry about that. Just take your time. You know, try and cut on the pencil line, and it's okay if it's not like perfect circles. Don't worry about that. And this stuff, I mean, you know, this is like the trash of the trash of the project because you've already cut out your circles, but it still looks really cool, and you can use this. You know, maybe you can cut like even smaller shapes, like triangles, squares, whatever you want to do with the stuff that's left over. So even though we're not going to use it for this project, don't throw it away. You can always use it for collage, for different things. And they're such bright, pretty colors that yeah, it'd be really cool. Okay, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 circles cut out, and I am working on my 5th. And there we go. Now, as you can see, my colors are a really good demonstration on how we've mixed and created new colors with just our primary colors. So you can see on these circles the change that goes on. You can go from yellow to orange to a darker orange as we move to red. From this one, this is very distinct as well. You're going from a yellow green to a green to a blue green. And here you're starting with yellow and you're moving into a yellow green. Here you've got red and you're moving into a reddish purple. And here you've got blue and you're moving into a bluish purple. So you can really see how these color gradients happen even in these circles that you've cut out. So what we're going to do is, now here is a part where you guys have control on what the composition is going to be. So how you put together your artwork, your art piece. And really that is all composition is. It's how you compose or put together your work of art. Now that we have these circles, I want you to place them in the areas that you think they look the best. You know, you can put them where they contrast the most. You can put them in a place where they contrast the least. And contrast, remember, is like differences. So obviously, if I were to take this, and this is yellow going into yellow-green, if I wanted to put it in an area of low contrast, I would put it right here. And this is kind of like a chameleon, right? So a chameleon changes its color to match the environment, so it camouflages itself. So that low contrast. As far as composition, you know, I want you to think about whether you want to do that. Do you want to put it in a place that has low contrast? That's up to you. Or do you want to move it to another area where it has high contrast? And really, as far as colors go, these are complementary colors and opposite each other on the color wheel and provide the most contrast. So you can really see how this pops. And when I say pops, that's because it's so different from the background, you really can see that. So same thing with this. If I wanted a low contrast, I would put it here. I would even say that this, even though you can see the difference, is still lower contrast than if you placed it somewhere like that. And I really like how these colors go together, so I'm going to put that there. I think I'm going to put, ooh, I like that. So yeah, see how I'm just going around and placing my circles and thinking, do I like that? Do I like that there? Or would it be better here? So I want you guys to think about that. Don't glue anything down yet. So think about where you want your pieces to go. And do you want to put them all in a straight line, like going right across the middle? That's another choice for composition. But you don't have to. If I wanted to, I can put this one higher. I can put this one lower. You can do a pattern, one down, one up, one down, one up. I like that. Okay, ooh, I don't know. Ooh, maybe I can put the gradient going that way. Oh, I really like that. Okay, so I'm going to switch. You see what I just did? I problem solved the composition because I turned this and I said, I really like the way that the gradient, the color change is going this way, yellow to orange, but yet the gradient and color change on the background is going this way. So do you guys see that? So that's also another thing that you can think about. Oh, I like that one there too. Okay, so that is what art really is about. It really is about creating something, thinking about how you want to place things, using the space that you have. I know that I had a class on negative space and positive space, so okay, and I think I like that. So hopefully you guys are putting together your color compositions as well, and once you get it to a place where you really like it, you're going to take your glue stick and you are just going to glue your circles down. As I said, this is like the worst glue stick in the world. So I'm going to use a lot of glue and try and get it to stick right there. And you can count. It's always helpful to count. You can count in your head or you can count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And move on to the next one. And put it right here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's good. See, it's still not sticking all the way. And so this may be our last free class that we're offering on live stream, but we are going to continue with art classes. We're going to be offering them in a Zoom format. And we actually have a couple of classes already set up. There is a Tuesday class from 11:30 to 12:45 for ages 5 through 7. That is a Zoom class, and it's going to be kind of very similar to this, but the Zoom class will offer more interaction on your side, so you can show your artwork as we're going along, and I can help you kind of figure out your next steps while we're creating as I teach the lesson. So yeah, those are going to be our Zoom classes. So it's Tuesday from 11:30 to 12:45. I'm actually doing another class. It's a homeschool class, but that one's already filled. And that one's an older age kids class. So that one goes from, I think it's like 5th through 8th grade. And that one is at, I think it's 2 p.m. To 3:15 on Tuesdays. Now, if you want to set up your own Zoom class, you can always email the Firehouse at info@firehouseart.org. We also are putting together Zoom and in-person dual language Spanish and English classes. So you get to experience an art class while learning a language. And those are going to be taught by Joanna Giddings of Ober Arts. So she is actually a bilingual art instructor. She is a former ELL educator in the school system. So she has a lot of experience in teaching language as well as teaching art. So those will be really awesome classes as well. And her classes are Mondays and Tuesdays from 9 to 10:15. So all this information is on our education page on the Firehouse website. And once again, that's firehouseart.org, because we are a nonprofit, ORG at the end instead of .com. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna see if I can get these to stick better, but as you can see, I placed them in an up, down, up pattern, and I've got all of my colors represented. I've got my color gradients going throughout the whole thing, and if I wanted to, I could take this and turn it into like a loop that just keeps, or a square, that just keeps on going. So you can see it. It'll go from, well, let me turn the screen up so you guys can see a little bit better. Okay. So here is my color wheel collage, and it goes all the way from starting with yellow, goes into yellow green to blue green to blue purple to reddish purple. Oh no, see, my circles are coming off. So anyway, I'm gonna have to fix that. And then going into red, reddish orange, light yellow orange, all the way back to yellow. So the whole color wheel represented in this one banner collage. So hopefully you guys have finished your project as well, and obviously I would love to see it. I always love seeing you guys' artwork. You can send it to me via email to info@firehouseart.org. I'll put it on the Facebook page. We're collecting pictures of artwork created by kids during the summer so that we have a record of all the things that we have taught while we have been closed. It's definitely been an interesting summer, and I'm sad that it's ending and I won't be doing these live stream classes anymore until maybe next summer, who knows. But I hope that I see some of you guys in my Zoom classes. So once again, I'm teaching ages 5 to 7 on Tuesdays from 11:30 to 12:45. We have our homeschool class for 5th grade to 8th grade. That's Tuesday at 2. We're putting together other classes based on parents' requests. So if you have a request, definitely send it to us at info@firehouseart.com or .org, excuse me. And we also have our dual Spanish and English language art class taught by Joanna Giddings. So lots of stuff going on. We've got education, we've got the in-person downtown art market, art walk, and we've got the virtual art walk that is also on Saturday. we've got our exhibit that's at the gallery. We have a pop-up art exhibit with Homa, and she is taking appointments to come see her work in Studio C, and I think it's Soul Arts or Soul Paint Arts. I'll figure that out and I'll post it on the Facebook page. But her work is beautiful. She's transformed Studio C upstairs into her own art gallery. So it's beautiful up there. So definitely come and check it out. And this is our last summer live stream on Thursday. But you know, as sad as it makes me to think about this being our last class, I am super excited to continue on with our other education classes. And I know I will see you guys later. Thanks, guys. Bye.